Beastars is about a gray wolf named Legoshi figuring out life in the real world after dropping out of school. This season introduces a mysterious new character and a plot point that last season skipped. Season 3 begins with this horse and I guess his magic carrots reading the file on Legoshi eating Louie's leg in order to be strong enough to fight Riz.
He may have agreed to it, but I sure as hell do not.
Though he's mad about it and feels he has to do something about it since he's the Beastar. He seems like a lovely character. Since Legoshi dropped out of school, he's been living in this crappy apartment and struggling with his meat cravings. You know, because he ate Louie's leg. Which causes him to have these freakouts every night, which keeps his sheep neighbor awake. So she goes to tell him to stop, because a herbivore confronting a carnivore who's freaking out is such a good idea. She tries being nice about it, but Legoshi just jumps back and goes back to his room. Legoshi's working as a delivery boy for a restaurant and brings Going some food and tells him about eating Louie's leg. Then Going asks about his family.
I don't have a mom or dad. I used to live with my grandpa.
Oh, are they finally gonna do something with this like they should have done a season ago? Then Going gives Legoshi some drugs for his meat withdrawals, and one last piece of knowledge.
Record of prior devouring was the official wording?
Yes?
There's one thing you won't be able to do with that in your file. Interspecies marriage with an herbivore.
What?
Because that's not a bullshit law at all. Meanwhile, at his family's mansion, Louie is reminiscing about his time with the Shishigumi, which I still don't know why he left. But his father bought him a fancy prosthetic leg, so I guess it worked out. Well, the school went through with their segregation idea, and now the carnivores are openly talking about eating meat.
What kind you get?
It was, I think, pig.
What?
Isn't that Riz's roommate? You would think he wouldn't want to eat meat after what happened with... Okay, and Jack is looking kind of depressed about this whole thing. But he got selected for some special class, so I'm sure that's not gonna make it worse. Then Legoshi's grandpa calls Jack to ask why Legoshi dropped out of school, because he's worried about him and... What the hell? Okay. Anyway, Haru's doing better in college, and one of her rabbit friends is dating a lion, because that's gonna end well. Then we get the story about the turf wars between the gangs of the black market from the goat that Bill ate the finger of. And he's still selling them? I mean, it seems he's only sold one since then, but still, I'm surprised he's still alive. I guess he's not now. What the hell was that? Anyway, Legoshi's still freaking out, so the sheep goes into his apartment to yell at him. Yeah, that was a great idea. Back at the black market, the Shishigumi is having trouble getting ivory to make a drug, and in walks, Redacted, I guess. If they're not gonna show him, I'm just gonna call him Redacted. And in walks Redacted with an elephant tusk. Then this chipmunk starts talking crap to him. Seriously, why are they not showing this guy's face? Is it some kind of mystery? I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but what the hell? That was the second funniest thing to happen on this show. Anyway, back at his apartment, Legoshi manages to calm down enough so that he and Seven can have a conversation, and she helps him out with his electricity problem. At the college, a couple carnivores are talking about an energy drink called Keenness that caused a carnivore to bite his girlfriend. Yeah, great idea drinking that, and causes the lion to freak out on Louie, who because of the Shishigumi actually kind of knows how to fight now. Then he remembers that he showed Juno his prosthetic leg during graduation and she kissed him because she has a crush on him now. Seriously, how does Louie get these hats over his antlers? I understand the stretchy fabric thing for shirts, but I don't think that would work on a hat. Whatever. Back at the black market, because the show kinda likes to jump around, Jima drinks one of those Keenness things, freaks out, and attacks the other Shishigumi members. Yeah, it's always unfortunate when a carnivore loses control. And they tie him up until he calms down.
You should know better than to get high on your own supply.
You make it sound like we're drug dealers or something.
They kind of are, though, aren't they? Turns out, Keenness contains a small amount of herbivore flesh and bone to get carnivores addicted to meat, and is especially effective on carnivores who have eaten meat before. Anyway, Redacted wants them to deliver the cases of Keenness to the city, but they're not quite convinced to let him be the boss yet. Oh my god! I think that's the most graphic thing this show has done. Moving on, holy Crap. Back at the city, Seven is helping Legoshi find new shoes, and Legoshi immediately makes her carnivore co-worker stop teasing her just by being there, which pisses her off. I guess there's this group of rats who steal from gangs and stuff who work with the Beastar, yeah. They're pretty much used for informants though, so there you go. Anyway, one night, the show in time, I don't know how much time has passed, Legoshi is going home and he's stopped by these three who offer him some keenness. Naturally, he can smell the herbivore meat in it, so he tries to walk away. But then hallucinates Louie telling him to stop them, so he gets pissed, beats the absolute crap out of these drug dealers, and decides he's going to kill these guys because Legoshi is a freaking psycho. Until the cops show up and pretty much save these guys' lives. So the Komodo dragon runs to the Shishigumi to give them the money and tell them what happened. Then he breaks his tail off as a distraction and runs off, because that won't be used later. At the high school, Bill is the drama club president now, and they're deciding whether to split the club up or not have it at all. Well, they decide to split the club between the carnivores and the herbivores. Tina doesn't like that, so he quits. After what happened last year, you'd think he'd be okay with it. Back at the town, Legoshi and Haru meet up at a bus station, and they start having a conversation until Haru's dad shows up. So she pretends to not know Legoshi and runs away. Kind of a dick move, but okay. Somewhere else in town, Yaya is threatening a leopard for mistreating cows at a dairy plant. Freaking leopards and not doing their movement right. God. Because he believes everyone should be treated with respect and as equals, whether they're big or small or carnivore or herbivore. Just keep that in mind for later. Yaya's rat informants tell him what Legoshi did to the Keenest dealers, and he starts thinking about how he used to have a partner who left him and ruined everything. That night, Legoshi is walking home when he sees this Komodo dragon waiting for him, who takes some of his venom and puts it in Legoshi's mouth.
A Komodo dragon's venom. It doesn't affect its own kind.
It doesn't affect Legoshi because in this world, anyone of any two species can have a hybrid child together, and this Komodo dragon is Legoshi's biological grandfather. They kind of threw this in there without really explaining it, didn't they? I'm guessing that was his secret that was mentioned in Season 1. Okay, I'm fine with the whole hybrid species thing, but he hasn't seen Legoshi in 5 years. He wouldn't know exactly what he looks like now. What if he had been a different wolf that just looked like him? He would have killed someone. Anyway, Gosha takes Legoshi out to eat, and while they're there, some racist birds show up and tell them to leave because Gosha's a reptile. So Legoshi gets mad and is about to fight one of them until the owner kicks the birds out. Now Gosha's mad because he wants Legoshi to be a pacifist, although it's a little late for that. But these asshole birds are waiting for them, and one of them pushes Legoshi down. So Gosha gets pissed and beats the crap out of them. Legoshi's grandpa is awesome. Across the city, I think, Louie is having a date with his fiancée. He tells her about losing his leg, and all she's worried about is if he's still able to have children. I don't know how losing your leg would affect that, but okay. So she got them a hotel room, and it's been a while since I've had to say this, but just push through it. I mean, Louie doesn't because he vomits, gross, but just push through it. Oh look, they remembered the mayor exists, and he has some sketchy deal against Yaya.
Did you forget about our agreement? Why is that damn horse still strutting around on the streets at night like he owns the place?
All right, take it easy. It's all taken care of.
See, I told you he was part of the black market somehow. Yaya finds the racist birds somehow, and they tell him that some old lizard beat them up.
After all these years, why would you show yourself now? You chose to betray me.
I guess Gosha and Yaya were partners 36 years ago and planned to share the role of Beastar. But one day they rescued a female wolf from being skinned alive, and she and Gosha started dating. And 6 months later, Gosha got her pregnant and decided to focus on being a dad instead of becoming the Beastar with Yaya. Instead of being happy for Gosha, this asshole gets pissed and punches him and says he betrayed him, because God forbid he wants a family. So Yaya sets up a plan to meet Legoshi, I'm sure with the best intentions. Anyway, at his job, Legoshi has to make a delivery to a fish at the ocean, and it just goes horribly.
Udon? Udon, I brought it for you. You placed an order with us, dear customer, and I brought it. Ow!
Until this seal named Sagwan comes and translates for him. Apparently fish just eat each other and don't care, just so you know. Sangwon invites Legoshi over to his place, and when Legoshi gets there, Sangwon is just naked, because I guess that's how the ocean is? I don't know. What the hell? The first few episodes did a great job of expanding the world outside of Cheriton High School. For example, how lower income people live. Legoshi is working as a delivery boy and is living in a one-room apartment that doesn't even have its own bathroom. And how adult carnivores treat adult herbivores, with Seven's co-workers teasing her, until Legoshi shows up and they immediately stop, which does a good job of showing how important size is and how they treat each other. The few times Legoshi gets told to watch himself around herbivores, like when he and Seven are arguing and Seven is yelling at him, and when Haru's dad warns him when he and Haru are just talking, are great examples of how carnivores have negative assumptions about them and how they're kind of treated unfairly, although it's not 100% without merit. I like how they show Legoshi struggling with meat withdrawal well after he ate Louie's leg. It shows that meat really is like a drug in this world. It's more than just something their instincts crave. It's something they can easily get addicted to, and it messes them up if they give in to their instincts, which is tragically horrifying. I enjoyed the couple of residents of Legoshi's apartment that were introduced, and how they were used to teach different aspects of the world. They could have expanded more on this, but for a show with a limited runtime, I understand why they didn't. I feel they could have explained the hybrid species concept better. They could have had some exposition explaining that couples of different species can have children together, rather than just throwing in, oh, Legoshi is part komodo dragon by the way. They could have even just had it be Legoshi thinking of his and Haru's children if they wanted to keep his grandfather's reveal for later. The voice acting is excellent. Libby Bear is really good as Seven. She's really good at showing Seven's frustration with Legoshi when he's freaking out from his meat withdrawals, and when he oversteps his boundaries with confronting her co-workers. She also does a great job showing appreciation for Legoshi treating her with respect. Jason Minoka is fantastic as Gosha. I was pleasantly surprised with how deep and gruff his voice was. He sounds like how you would imagine a komodo dragon would sound. But yet you can hear the gentleness when he talks to Legoshi and when he's trying not to cause a scene. But his voice really comes into play when he has to get aggressive with the racist birds. Sunwon Cho is great as Sanwon. He has a certain calm to his voice that I kind of like, and he does a great job introducing the fish language that we haven't heard before. Once again, the visual effects are fantastic. All the characters look like the animals they're supposed to without looking uncanny. Yaya has the big strong body you would expect with a horse, and his head animation seems consistent with how horses tend to bow their heads a lot. I find it funny that they put his tail in a sleeve to make it easier to animate, but I can't say I blame them. Gosha looks great with how detailed he is. They really took care with giving him individual scales and how they animate the way the light gleams off of them. We're 4 episodes in and they've shown a lot of the world outside of the school. Maybe within the next 4 episodes they'll show who Redacted is.
If you want to see an uncensored version of this video, or any of my other videos, check out my Patreon. If not, I appreciate you watching my video here too. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.